Hey everyone. So sometimes my videos admittedly can run a little long, so I want to produce some shorter ones, and these will be called snippets of truth. So what we'll be looking at today is the image of jealousy. Just some high level concepts. It's always a bad idea to represent your worship with a symbol. Bringing in symbols is always the first step to apostasy. We have to become familiar with them, and then we can worship them. Just a little quick note on history. That's exactly what Constantine did. He took these pagan symbols and he blessed them in the name of Christianity. So, with that said, let's look in the study. So, we're going to be looking at the image of jealousy today. We're picking that up in Ezekiel 9:3. He stretched out the form of a hand and took me by a lock of my hair, and the Spirit lifted me up between earth and heaven, brought me in visions of God to Jerusalem, to the door of the north gate of the inner court, where the seat of the image of jealousy was, which provokes to jealousy. Behold, the glory of the God of Israel was there, like the vision that I saw on the plain. Then he said to me, Son of man, lift up your eyes now to the north. So I lifted up my eyes to the north, and there, north of the altar gate, was this image of jealousy in the entrance. Very important, it was in the entrance where this image was. So let's look a little bit about this idea of jealousy in Exodus 20. And I'll pick it up in verse 4. You shall not make for yourself a carved image, any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or in the earth beneath, or in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord, am a jealous God. Just a brief aside here. During the communion service, oftentimes the plates will have symbols on them. All the congregation is bowing before them. So just think about that when your church practices your communion service. And then moving on to Deuteronomy 4 and picking up in verse 12. Then the Lord spoke to you from the midst of the fire. You heard the sound of the words, but you saw no form. There was only a voice. God did not reveal himself in any bodily form because he knew they would make an image based on that form. And picking it up in verse 15. So be very careful yourselves, since you do not see any form on the day that the Lord spoke to you in Horeb in the midst of the fire, so that you do not act corruptly and make an image for yourself in the form of any figure, a representation of male or female, representation of an animal, representation of a winged bird, a representation of anything that crawls on the ground, or a representation of any fish in the water below the earth. That's pretty inclusive, I would say. And so, the last verse I'm going to quote here is from Jeremiah 3:2, and this is very sad, but it definitely is applicable. Lift up your eyes to the desolate heights and see. Where have you not lain with men? By the road you have sat for them like an Arabian in the wilderness, and you have polluted the land with your harlotries and your wickedness. Therefore the showers have been withheld, and there has been no latter rain. You have had a harlot's forehead. You refuse to be ashamed. So I implore all of you Christians, if there are these weird symbols or just standard Christian symbols that are being brought into your worship service, even such, innocuous things as a Christmas tree, reject those. We do not worship with symbols, and that is biblical truth. Blessings in the name of Jesus.